Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope you are doing well. So here I am again today with another video, and this time I'll be talking about the past perfect and the past perfect continuous. I will also be introducing the simple future and the future with the big Win2, okay? So as you know, we don't still have a lot of time for the exam, which will take place in February. So as I wish you good luck in the upcoming exam, I'd like also to encourage you to do your best and to double your efforts, and things will be all right, okay? There is something else that I'd like to bring into your attention, which is that we are, as professors, we are supposed to officially stop posting videos and posting lectures online on the 23rd of January this month. This means that you are indeed being squeezed by time, and this requires more and more efforts from your part. So I wish you good luck, and I think if you do your best, if you manage your time appropriately, if you do a lot of practice, I think everything will be fine, okay? Because as I say all the time, hard work pays off. All right, now without further ado, let's get started. And before that, let me just share my screen with you. So the past perfect. We start with the usage of the past perfect, or the use of the past perfect. In what case we use it? We use the past perfect tense to talk about an action that happened before another action in the past, okay? This is very important. An action that happened before another action in the past, or an activity that happened before another activity in the past. Now this idea will become clear for you as you take a look at this illustration here. This is timeline. We have the past, we have the present here, and the future. So the past perfect is this one here in the red color, and the simple past is in the gray color, okay? Now this is the action that happened first, and this is the action that came second. So the action that happened first should be in the past perfect, okay? And the action that came afterwards should be in the simple past. For example, he had already eaten the whole pizza when his brother came. He had already eaten the whole pizza when his brother came. So the brother came here in the simple past, but when he came, his brother had already eaten the whole pizza before, right? So the first action is in the past perfect, and the second action is in the simple past. Let's consider the examples here. And I think examples make things clearer all the time. When we arrived at the station, the train had already left. When we arrived, so there is a we missing here. I'm sorry for that. There is a we missing here. When we arrived at the station, the train had already left. Which action happened first? Is it the action of the train leaving, or the action of arriving at the station? Of course, the action of the train leaving happened first. That's why we used it in the past perfect. The train had already left when we arrived at the station. So the second action is in the simple past, and the first one is in the past perfect. Until he met her, he had never been serious. Until he met her, he had never been serious. He met her in the past, but before that, before he met her, he had never been a serious person. By the time she got to the beach, the sun had set. By the time she got to the beach, the sun had set. So the sun had set is the first action. That's why it is in the past perfect. And she got to the beach is the second action. That's why it is in the simple past. Now, in the second case, we use the past perfect to talk about a period of time before an event in the past, okay? We use the past perfect to talk about a period of time. It's not just an action that happened at once. No, it is a period of time before an event in the past. For example, we had lived in that house for 20 years before we sold it. So here we had lived in that house. The action of living took a certain time. It is a period of time, right? We had lived in that house before 20 years, or for 20 years before we sold it. So the action of living was before the action of selling the house. That's why the first one was in the past perfect and the second one is in the simple past. I had worn that watch for 10 years. So it's a period of time. I had worn that watch for 10 years before I gave it to my brother, right? So the action of wearing the watch for 10 years was before the action of giving it to the brother. That's why the first one is in the past perfect and the second one is in the simple past. As far as the structure is concerned, this is how we use it, okay? In the affirmative form, we have subject plus had plus past participle. I focus again on the past participle. Now, when we use perfect tenses, whether it is the present perfect, the past perfect, or the future perfect, what we are concerned with is the past participle, okay, of the verb, not the infinitive, not the past form, not the present participle form. We are concerned with the past participle. As I explained in a previous video, any verb in the English language has four forms: the infinitive form, the past form, the past participle form, and the present participle form. For example, the verb to play, this is the infinitive to play. In the past, it is played, in the past participle, played, and the present participle, playing. But this is a regular verb. That's why we have the past participle and the simple past have the same form, okay? Let's take now an irregular verb. For example, the verb to fly. The infinitive is to fly, the past form flow, the past participle flown, and the present participle flying. Forbid, the infinitive to forbid, the past form forbade, the past participle forbidden, and the present participle forbidden. Now, as I told you, what we are concerned with when we are using perfect tenses is just the past participle form, okay? Now here, the affirmative is subject plus had plus past participle. She had seen that dream before it really came true. So here we have the verb to see. So we used the past participle, which is sin. Okay, we are not concerned with the saw, which is the past form. We are not concerned with the present participle, which is seeing. So we focus and we used just sin. In the negative form, subject plus had plus not plus past participle. For example, he had not known anything about Morocco before he visited it. He had not known anything about Morocco before he visited it. Or I can say it otherwise, before he visited Morocco, he had not known anything about it. The interrogative form or the question form had plus subject plus past participle. Had they lived in this house before they moved into the new one? Had they lived in this house before they moved into the new one? Yes, they had. No, they hadn't. So basically, this is the structure of the past perfect tense. Now, the past perfect continuous. Of course, we start with the use. Okay, now when do we use the past perfect continuous? We use the past perfect continuous to talk about the duration of an action before something in the past. So here I highlighted the duration of an action. It's very important. Before something in the past. So it's not very much different than the past perfect, except that the past perfect continuous here, the focus is on the duration of an action, okay, or the continuity or the progressiveness of an action before another action in the past. Again, as you look at this illustration here, you get what I mean. So past, present, future, as you see, this is the timeline. Now here we have the past perfect continuous in this arrow. This arrow indicates that we are talking here about an ongoing action or a continuous action or a progressive action before an event in the simple past, which is here, okay? So the action was continuous or progressive before another action or event in the past, right? So this one should be in the past perfect continuous, and this one here should be in the simple past. Now let's take a look at some examples. The road was very slippery because it had been snowing. The road was very slippery because it had been snowing. Now, what caused the road to be slippery? It's of course the snow. So it had been snowing before it became slippery, okay? So the action of snowing here was continuous. It snowed for a certain time, maybe for one day, maybe for 7 hours, it depends. So the action was progressive and continuous before something in the past. He had been waiting for an hour when the bus finally came. He had been waiting for an hour before the bus finally came. So the same thing here. The action of waiting was continuous and progressive, okay, for an hour before the bus came. So when the bus came, the action of waiting ended, right? She had been working at the bank for 10 years before it closed forever. She had been working at the bank for 10 years before it closed forever. So the action of working at the bank was continuous for a certain period of time. Okay, it was progressive. And then when the bank closed, this action stopped, right? So the past perfect continuous, I repeated, we use it to talk about an action that was continuous or progressive before a certain event or before something that happened in the past. All right, now we come to the structure. So as you see, the affirmative form, we have subject plus had plus been plus verb plus ing. So in the past perfect continuous structure, we don't use the past participle form as in the past perfect, okay? So here we use the present participle, verb plus ing, subject plus had plus been plus verb plus ing. She had been waiting. She had been waiting before the bus came. The negative, subject plus had plus not plus been plus verb plus ing. She had not been waiting. She had not been waiting. And the question form, had plus subject plus been plus verb plus ing. Had she been waiting? Had she been waiting? Yes, she had. No, she hadn't. If you want to practice the structure of the past perfect continuous, I think try to make sentences in the affirmative form and try to make other sentences in the negative form, and the same thing for the interrogative form, okay? If you come up with different sentences in each form, you will be able to use the past perfect continuous correctly, okay? So practice makes perfect. So as you practice the structure, you'll come to internalize it and remember it. So as usual, I have exercises here that I will be posting, right? I will post them as downloadable Word documents that you can download, of course. So use the past perfect and the simple past correctly in the sentences here, right? For example, number one, when the waiter finally arrived, the verb between parentheses arrive, with the food, the guests already leave, between parentheses, the restaurant. So here, where should we use the past simple? Where should we use the past perfect? Okay. So let me do this for you as an example. When the waiter finally came, or when the waiter finally arrived with the food, the guests had already left the restaurant. So the action of leaving the restaurant happened before the waiter came. Is that clear? So we say, when the waiter arrived, they had already left the restaurant. And you do the same thing with the other examples here, right? And of course, you have pictures illustrating the situations in the examples. What about this? Past perfect practice. Now read the sentences below and then write or say what people had done by the times indicated. So you have time expressions here. So you need to write what they had done, okay, by the time indicated. Of course, using the past perfect tense. And the same thing, I think, in the last exercise. Read the sentences below and then write or say what the people had been doing. So here you practice the use of the past perfect continuous, okay? In this exercise here, you practice the past perfect, and in this one here, you practice the past perfect continuous, right? Now, please stay tuned. I will share these documents on Google Classroom immediately after I post you the video, right? Now we come to the future tenses. Here I have certain sentences, right, or predictions probably, to um, brainstorm and talk about the future. But of course, this is an interactive exercise that we cannot do now. Maybe it's not appropriate to do it because it is interactive, as I said, and it should be done in class, right? You discuss with your friends and classmates these statements here, and you agree or disagree with them using future tenses. For example, a nuclear war will destroy the earth. Do you agree or disagree? What do you think? Okay, I think a nuclear war will destroy the earth. I think a nuclear war will not destroy the earth. So this exercise is meant to give chance to students to practice and talk with each other using the future tense. But of course, I said it's not practical to do it here. There is no way to do it. Okay. Now, simple future. The uses of the simple future with will are as follows. Number one, we use the simple future to talk about on-the-spot actions or on-the-spot decisions. What do you mean by on-the-spot decisions? These are actions decided at the moment of speech, okay? Something that we never planned before, something that we had no idea that we will do, right? But we decided to do it at the moment of speaking. That's what we mean by on-the-spot decisions. For example, it's hot in here. It's hot in here. I will turn on the AC or the air conditioner. Now, I decided to turn on the AC only after I felt that it is hot. I didn't plan to turn it on, okay? I decided to turn it on only when I felt or when I realized that the weather is hot here. So this is what I call on-the-spot decisions. So in this case, we use will. Another example, I have a sharp headache. I'll take an aspirin. I have a sharp headache. I'll take an aspirin, okay? So I decided to take the aspirin only after I felt that I have a headache, okay? This is something that I didn't plan before, right? It came to my mind only after I felt that the headache is unbearable. The screen is not clear. I will adjust it. The screen is not clear. I will adjust it. So this is also another example of an on-the-spot decision. And of course, as you see, with all of them, we used will. Now, the second case, we use the simple future with conditional, time, or purpose clauses. What do you mean by conditional clauses? We are going, of course, to study conditionals very soon. I will post you videos on conditionals. So conditionals or conditional sentences are the one that start with the if, for example, or sometimes when. For example, when you come, I will meet you at the station. So this is a time clause. This is a time clause. When you come, I'll meet you at the station. Conditional clause, if you scratch my back, I will scratch yours. If you scratch my back, I will scratch yours. So this is a conditional clause. Because I want to be an engineer, I'll do my best at school. Because, so purpose. Why are you going to do your best at school? Because I want to be an engineer. That's why I will do my best at school. So conditional, time, or purpose clauses, we use will. We also use will with offers, requests, promises, threats, and refusal. And I have an example for each. For example, that looks heavy. I'll help you. So here, the speaker is offering to help the other person. Okay, that's why he used I will help you. Will you give me that pen, please? So this is a request. The speaker is requesting a pen from the other person. Will you give me that pen, please? I will keep your secret. Don't worry. This is a promise. It's like you say, I promise to keep your secret. Threat, I will kick you out of the room if you do it again. I'll kick you out if you do it again. So here, a person is threatening another person, okay? And the last one, refusal. She will not accept the deal. She will not accept the deal. She's so obstinate. So here we express a refusal. So in these cases, we use the future with will, or the simple future, right? Now, be going to, what is the difference between will and be going to, right? Here is the difference. We use be going to for planned actions in the future. Planned actions. When I say planned actions, it means that the decision was taken before the moment of speaking. The decision to do a certain action was taken before the moment of speaking. That's what you mean by a planned action. For example, I'm going to the movies tomorrow evening. I'm going to the movies tomorrow evening. I plan to do it. I decided to do it before, right? She's going to the beach with her family next Sunday. She's going to the beach with her family next Sunday. So here, the idea of going to the beach was probably talked over and decided upon long time ago, right? So it is a plan. It is something planned to take place in the future. So in this case, we use be going to, not will. Also, we use be going to for predictions based on evidence or sign. What do I mean by this sentence? Predictions, something that you predict, something that you think will happen, right? But we use be going to only if you make a prediction that is based on a sign or something that you can see now, right? Or an evidence that you have now. For example, the man does not breathe. I can see him now. He doesn't breathe. I have a sign. So I make this prediction here. He is going to lose consciousness and probably die. So this is only a prediction, right? Why did I make this prediction? I made it because the man doesn't breathe now, because I can see that now the man doesn't breathe. So probably, or I predict that that he's going to lose consciousness and probably die, right? The sky is overcast. What do you mean by overcast? It means cloudy. The sky is cloudy. There are a lot of clouds in the sky. The sky is cloudy. It is going to rain. So this is a prediction based on what I can see, based on the fact that the sky is cloudy, okay? The sky is overcast. It is going to rain. The teacher looks very angry now. The teacher looks very angry, okay? Everyone can see that he's very angry. So this is a sign, or this is an evidence. So the prediction is this: he's going to scold us today. He's going to blame every one of us today, right? So we use be going to in these cases. But you can use both will and be going to for making predictions which are not based on evidence. If you have a prediction that is not based on an evidence, you can either use will or be going to. Both of them are acceptable, right? This is the teacher who is very angry, okay? And is going to blame and scold everyone. All right. Now here we have practice exercises. Of course, I'm going to post them as Word documents that you can download. So choose between will, want, which is a negative form, and be going to, or not, be plus not going to, all right? Use them appropriately in the blanks here. Of course, the context is going to help decide which one is suitable. Here, will or be going to, choose the correct one. Oh, this is the key, I'm sorry. This is the key for the previous exercise. But of course, I'd like you to do the exercise before you take a look at the key. there is another exercise here. Put the verb into the correct form, using will or going to, the same thing. So here, the more you practice, the better you become, and the better you distinguish between will and be going to. That's important. Yeah, if you have any questions or you'd like to ask about something in the video, please comment using Google Classroom, of course. Well, so yeah, I come now to the end of this video. I thank you very much for your attention and take good care. See you very soon with another video, right? I'll be posting like 2 or 3 videos a week, not like before, because I'm supposed to finish before the 23rd. All right. So yeah, take good care and goodbye.